What is up, guys? Yugi here, back with another video. As we've seen over the past couple of months, Chaos Dragons have been creeping up everywhere and topping. The latest example being Feng Shen at the YCS Philly event. Many congrats to him, by the way. In light of these recent successes, today I'm going to be addressing the question of why Chaos Dragons, as a collection of cards, are so good, and why have they seen such recent success. I'll begin with a couple of sample deck lists. Feng Shen and Alexander Reed from YCS Toulouse, commenting on the deck's overall philosophy. Followed by how that philosophy, as reflected in that list, counters the likes of Dino-Rabbit and Inzektors, and even windups. And the deck that I used at the Irish Nationals recently was also Chaos Dragons, and it placed 7th. If you're interested in that deck list, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's one of my more recent videos. Anyway, let's get into it. Right, so very quickly, the deck lists. We've got 1 BLS, 2 Chaos Sorcerer, it's the Chaos Engine. The milling engines in the 2-card Trooper, the triple Lila, and the triple Rykos. The Dark Targets, random Dark Flares, and the Rally's Darkest Metal Dragons, as well as the Tour Guide engine. Not essential in my opinion, but still pretty good. The 2 effect failures, you can run 3 if you want, but it's not really necessary. And the 1 tech Dark Armed, he's practically a staple, I wouldn't even call him a tech. The spells are pretty much all staples, apart from the 2 Forbidden Lances, which are Feng Shen's personal choice. Got Lord of Darkness, Charge of the Light Brigade, Triple Cell Recharge, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn Heavy Storm, and Future Fusion. Secondly, for those who aren't rich, we have the usual Chaos Engine, except this time it's just BLS and Chaos Sorcerer. The milling engine, more diverse this time, in the form of 2 card troopers, 1 Aaron, 1 Jane, 1 Lumina, 3 Lila, and 2 Ryko. Also, Honest is teched in this deck, which is pretty good. And then you've got the other standard stuff, like the Dark Arms, the Eclipse Wyverns, the Effect Failures, the Gores, the Triple Light Pulsar, only 1 Dark Flare. I'm not so sure about that, to be honest. The 2 Mystic Tomatoes and the Fan of Chaos are for, as I said, those with less money you can't afford the tour guides, but as I said, they're not necessary to begin with. The Fan of Chaos is nice because you can use JD's effect. The Sanguine is pretty good. The spells are standard, and he runs 1 trap in a Treacherous Trap Hole. Right, so what are these decks trying to do? Quite simply, it's to swarm with an army of Chaos Monsters and Dragons, and to go for a swift ODK before the opponent can respond. Its first philosophy, in that case, is to be offensive. This explains why in both builds, back row is virtually absent. The second function revolves around milling. Since most of these monsters can't be summoned unless you remove a Lightning Dart from your graveyard, the graveyard needs to be set up pretty much perfectly. This can be done with either Future Fusion, or with their good little set of pals, the Light Sworn monsters. The most popular of these are obviously Lila and Ryko, but other common examples include Jane and Aaron, and Lumina. As standalone monsters, none of them are that great, Lila probably being the best, Jane being able to attack over stuff, but basically what they need is support cards, and that's exactly what they have. Charge of the Light Brigade for searchability, and Solar Recharge for draw power. As if that wasn't enough, these cards also mill, further aiding in the special summoning process of your various Chaos and Dragon type monsters. The result of such philosophies is possibly one of the most devastating combos in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, that between Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and Light Pulsar Dragon. The 2 of them, when combined, are almost impossible to get rid of, especially if there's another Red-Eyes Darkness Metal in the grave. So why is it causing so much trouble? So why has the deck been so successful recently? Well, basically it comes down to what I call the circumstances of the time, namely the other decks that it has encountered in the meta and has been able to knock over, namely Dino-Rabbit. As a game of psychology, they're basically not playing the game that the other decks are playing at the moment. As a marketing strategy, they've found a niche in the market, in the current metagame. Simply put, that niche preys on the inability of decks like Dino-Rabbit to get over monsters with greater than 2400 attack points. Like it can touch things like Pulsar, Red-Eyes Darkest Metal Dragon without Forbidden Lance. And now, Chaos Dragons deck Forbidden Lances. And to make matters worse, once what I call the win conditions on the field, namely Red-Eyes Darkest Metal Dragon and Pulsar, Dino-Rabbit typically has nothing to get over it with. Normally, they'll just end up going into Utopia or something like that, because really there's not much else they can do. Now, don't get me wrong, Rabbit decks are still good, because Anna Hussein and our Irish Nationals actually won it with Dino-Rabbit, but that's obviously because he never faced me. Yeah, so, no, they're still good. I just think Chaos Dragons have the edge over them at the moment. Another issue to address is, of course, the fact that Chaos Dragons tend not to commit to the field until they absolutely have to. And this is a strategy not quite borrowed by their Dino-Rabbit or Inzektors, and so they will set a bunch of back row, defend themselves, sit there and pop cards. Chaos Dragons aren't like that. They can typically summon a monster, get its summon negated, and that can happen twice more before they're eventually out of cards. And don't get me wrong, Inzektors still have outs. They can go into rank 5s pretty easily, such as Adrius and Terrace, which can get over most of the boss monsters that Chaos Dragons provide. But just as Inzektors have to wait to clear the field, Chaos Dragons need to wait to mill. So it can be a bit of a game of chess for a while. Inzektors need to wait for Chaos Dragons to swarm the field before they can actually do anything. And Chaos Dragons need to wait until the back row has been cleared off or there's a clear path to their life points before they can start swarming and attacking. This is at least true in theory, but the only Inzektor matchup I faced at the Nationals I actually lost to 2-1, although it was with a BLS Army Arm OTK, so what can you do? Like so many other Tier 1 decks of the past, in addition to the deck's annoying factor, it is also extremely difficult to side against. Macrocosmos, as you see here, may seem like the most obvious side against the deck, but it's not perfect. The deck runs 3 Lilas and 3 Raikos, and sides in Royal Decrees and perhaps MSTs. That's something like 10 cards that can destroy spells and traps. So simply put, why is the deck winning? Well, it's winning because the meta doesn't have an answer to it, either in the main deck or in the side deck. Who's to say you need loads of money to build a great deck? Who's to say you need a Zen Mains? You need 3 Rabbits? You need any of this stuff? Just buy 3 starter decks. Dragons Collide. I mean, this raises deeper questions about what's wrong with the Yu-Gi-Oh game in general, and I'm not going to go into those here. But what I would say is that Chaos Dragon's success can be put down to the mentality of the deck paired with its availability. Now, fair enough, typically people will play what wins, but they'll also play what's most attainable, what's easiest to get. And in this case, that's Chaos Dragons. Unlike other formats, where decks like this would probably be classified as Tier 1.5, since they're so easy to build, in this case, Chaos Dragons are very much Tier 1, which is why people are getting pissed, why everyone's building the deck, and why it's become so damn popular. It's kind of crept out of nowhere, and that's why people are also annoyed about it. Also, the decks that are against it typically have these one-card advantage plays which they rely on, such as the summoning of Tour Guide, summoning of Rabbit, the summoning of Inzektor Dragonfly. But Chaos Dragons don't need any one single play to be successful. They just need to mill successfully a couple times, get a couple decent mills, and then just spam Chaos Monsters. It's pretty reckless, but it works. So the real question is, are Chaos Dragons going to be the king of Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't think so. Mainly because the deck is what I would call man-made, in the sense that there were cards already released and we just used them to make the deck. But they have so many boss monsters, they can spam out so many monsters so quickly, they don't rely on one-card plays and one-card pluses, and they're generally just pretty speedy and pretty fast, and they're going to be effective for quite a while at least. I haven't actually looked at the next set in too much detail, but it's certainly possible that the next set could find a way to stop them, and of course the ban list, so we'll just have to see what happens. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I've got a couple other videos in the pipeline, including that deck review from Stephen Lyon that I was talking about. If there are any other videos you want me to do, please let me know, post them in the comment section, and let me know what you think of this video in the comment section too. Third of all, if there's any video you'd like me to do, anything you'd like me to talk about that I haven't covered before, please let me know. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.